Okay, straight into it, straight up. Let's talk about RAM size and gaming, because I made a video a while back. You should probably check that out if you haven't, talking about why RAM size is overrated. And lots of people, not necessarily lots of people, some people did see the video and they said that, hey Jeff, you were underplaying the role of RAM in this context, or in the general context rather. Like, they felt like I did not give RAM size a lot of credit. So I am here to clarify that pretty quickly, as much as I can. Now I'm going to start this video by talking about an analogy, a very simple analogy. Someone doing laundry, someone washing their clothes. It's easy enough, right? So the task at hand is the clothes to be laundered, the clothes to be washed. The person is the CPU, and the buckets used to do the laundry can be considered the RAM, right? So that's very easy. Now, to start off with, the person is the CPU, and the person needs a platform to do their laundry. They can't do their laundry in thin air. That's, CPUs cannot carry their task, like, just like that. So they need a platform. Now, obviously, let me get something here real quick. Now, this is a small bucket. This bucket can wash this. This will fit perfectly into this bucket, but my duvet won't. Right? So that's where RAM size gets in. I don't know if you're getting the analogy now. Now, the RAM size determines the amount of task, or the type of task, that the CPUs can handle. Now, in the small bucket I brought over here just now, which is this bucket, right? Two of these will go in, right? But one duvet won't go in here. It's going to be a stretch. It's probably going to fit in all the way to the top. That's what RAM size is. That's the relationship between the RAM size and the CPU. So obviously the person can do the laundry, right? But if they do not have like an adequate size of RAM or adequate bucket to do their laundry, it's going to be a very difficult task. I imagine washing a huge laundry in this. This is really tiny. So it's not going to work. That's where RAM size is important. Now, when it comes to gaming, now with regular apps, there's small apps that can easily fit into phones with 1 gig RAM or 2 gig RAM devices. Yes, they still exist. It will be easy for them. But when you want to talk about AAA titles, like AAA titles like NBA 2K, for example, like Fortnite, for example, like Pro Evolution, eFootball, for example, like Call of Duty, for example, like PUBG Mobile, for example. Think of PUBG Mobile as a huge duvet, for example, and a phone with 2 gig or 3 gig RAM as these buckets. It's going to have problems fitting in. Now, the issue with small RAMs is not even just about like the duvet fitting in or PUBG fitting into the RAM. The issue here is that the RAM size is not supposed to be for gaming alone. Of course, the operating system needs to run. There are other important system functions or system tasks that need to run as well. So that's where small RAM sizes start giving users a headache. And that's why like most companies that produce games tend to give like a certain limit like for RAM size in order for you to be able to run a particular game. Now, most people consider the RAM size without considering the CPU, the SoC, or the person who's going to wash it. It's like, for example, myself taking a huge duvet and then giving it to a 5-year-old to wash, for example, like, hey, wash this. Now, even if the child has a whole drum, right, that a duvet can fit in easily, even if the child has a whole drum to himself or herself, rather, to wash those clothes in, right, it's still a child. A child cannot wash, cannot, even if they try, they won't do it as efficiently as an adult would, right? So like the person now doing the laundry is the CPU. So even if you've got a huge RAM size, for example, and the CPUs are not up to scratch, the game will, the CPU or the phone will be unable to run the said game. That's where the issue lies. It's that easy, it's that simple. Now lots of people tend to put more emphasis on the size of the RAM, rather, or the size of the bucket in this case, rather than the SOCs that are going to handle the task, or the person who's going to wash the clothes. It's like, for example, I'm like, I've got a dry cleaning company here, I've got a dry cleaning company here, bring your clothes, we've got the biggest buckets and we've got the best washing machines, and nobody bothers to ask, who are the workers who's going to be washing those clothes? And that's for that, really. I mean, RAM size is important, definitely. It definitely is important, but it is not as important as the SOCs. That's what I'm saying here. Like, the size of the bucket you're going to use to do your laundry is very, very important, but it is not as important as the person who's going to be doing the laundry. That's what's important. The bucket is just there to help the person carry out their task as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And that's for that. Cheers and bye bye.